Hey everybody, Danny Hauger here, recording in the home studio and recording music daily and lessons for my students. I hope you're doing really well. I'm here with Dave Quackenbush, musician, creator, and I'll go full admission here, like full honesty, because that's the way to go. I
Please
have
do.
been working on contacting artists all over. I just talked to Jonas Kleiner from Buck09. I'm a big ska, punk, indie writer fan. And in my efforts to pursue Dave Quackenbush from the Vandals, I met a very cool musician, Dave Quackenbush, who is not the lead singer of the Vandals, but who makes his own music. And I have egg on my face for going about this. And, you know, I often, like, I don't know if you're like this, Dave, but I'm like a plate spinner. So I do music. I'm a teacher. I'm a podcaster. I write songs. I host a teaching podcast. I do a lot. And sometimes when you operate with speed, you don't stop for the quality check to make sure you're contacting the right people. I would have never thought there'd be two Dave Quackenbushes. Then I would have never thought they'd both be lead singers in bands. And others, I want to know who you are and tell me about your music. And thank you for taking time in your schedule and being cool about it too, because you totally could have been like, dude, wrong guy. Like, click, hung up. But tell me about yourself. Where are you and what kind of music do you make?
Hey, that's so cool of you, Danny. By the way, yeah, a lot on your plate, a lot on my plate. I work up at a ski resort. I got a beanie on because it's hella cold outside right now. I'm in Utah, deep freeze. We were talking 29 degrees last night. So we
Wow.
got the heat cranked at home. And I've just been recording and making music all morning.
That's
But
awesome, man.
yeah, so worked up at a ski resort. I'm a therapist as well, musician. Thanks for the time, dude. So I'm in Ogden, Utah.
All right. So tell me about your music. What do you like to do? Who are your influences and how did you get started on that road?
So, yeah, basically born to a musical family, last of 8 kids. And I've just sung my whole life. Lots of singing, lots of playing, mostly singing though. And when I was in my 20s, I started writing music. And, but Danny, as far as influences go, I think I was influenced by my older siblings the most and what they were listening to. And I don't know if that's similar to each person if they have older siblings. So they introduced me to a lot of different music.
Makes sense. I mean, does that mean they were walking around playing instruments, singing as you were little and you were surrounded by it? Is it that kind of situation?
Yeah, no, mostly. So we were born into a really Nazi Mormon family. I don't know if you know. So it's pretty religious situation. And so most of the songs they were singing were church oriented, but they would slip me into their rooms from time to time and say, "Hey, Dave, I love this song. You got to listen to this." So I was 5 years old when my brother introduced me to the new wave music. So we're talking Oingo Boingo, Depeche Mode, Erasure, all these bands from way back in the day.
Wow, that's kind of neat because there's another connection there in that the guitarist for the Vandals played in Oingo Boingo too. So you've got all
Really?
these, yeah, you have all these like cool side connections to this. So through these moments with your brothers and sisters and you're finding this other music, did that hook you in a different way because it was something that was like drastic departure from the normal thing? And did that spark your interest? And then when did you start to play an instrument yourself?
Yeah, definitely, Danny. It was just eye-opening, for my siblings to introduce me to some of the music they liked, which was all variant different. And but what I and I liked all genres, I have to admit. Finally beginning to play I purchased my first guitar, 21 years old.
Nice.
So it was later in life. Then I kind of self-taught. And these days, I'm still kind of a one-man band,
Yeah.
and I'm
Love that.
basically looping everything I do on
Okay.
stage.
So let's talk about that. You acoustic on stage, you electric, are you switching between loops? Kind of what's your setup look like? And people can find your music, search for Dave Quackenbush music. You've got Facebook and Instagram as well. Tell me about like what a show is like when you set up on stage.
Yeah, so I do have an electric guitar, playing out of Fender amp, kind of like that sound. It's a
Hmm.
semi-hollow body. Um, and then I do have my electric acoustic. That's what I set up all of my phrasing with as far as guitar goes. Um, and then I use the body of the guitar as my beat system as well. So I'll record my beat, I'll record my guitar, and then
Sweet.
I can layer vocals as well. So I do something interesting, harmonizing, and then singing my hook.
All right. So you got your guitar pedal on a foot pedal. Are you running your vocal loops also on a foot pedal? Are you using hand controls? How are you operating that?
So that's a good question. What I use is the Digitech Jam Man, and it has two inputs, one for your guitar or whatever instrument, and then one for your vocal as well, if you want to
Oh,
use that.
okay.
And so
Cool.
I can actually do both. Yeah.
That's rad. That's rad. Um, what's the support been like? Because on your Facebook page, you've got a lot of different types of stuff. You've got some natural pictures, which is, I'm guessing, Utah, or maybe from some travel that you're doing. And how does your appreciation for the outdoors and being a therapist, how does that play in your music too? Because it seems like what you're trying to do is bring some peace and some love and some relaxation to people, or some enjoyability there. How are all these things linked together for you? What does that come together like?
Wow. Danny, that's a good question. I don't want to delve in too deep to some weird subjects,
Okay.
but so I am gay. I've been living with my partner for 15 years. Utah's a strange place to be gay, and also being raised Mormon. That was
Hmm.
kind of interesting, not that fun. And so basically, I struggled to try to find kind of who I was, to try to love myself, basically too, because that's a huge thing. And and through music, I was kind of able to, in a cryptic way, in a vague way, express my feelings and
Yeah.
let some things out. That was when I was younger and kind of just keeping everything to myself. So
Right. So it's an expression. It's a way of communicating. And um, what's the feeling like for you when you're recording? Is it something where you'll sit down, and is it always the same process? You start with the guitar, especially when you're making all the sounds yourself. How does the song come together for you?
yeah, I think the first song that I ever wrote, I was outside. There was an amazing sunset going on. To bring nature back into things, it kind of just sparked a melody inside of me. I
Hmm.
started writing a song in my head. I came back inside, put it to the guitar, and it kind of went from there. That was not how it usually goes, though, Danny. Usually I'm just messing with patterns on the guitar, chords, whatever, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. Let me mess with that for a second. So
Yeah.
it does start with the guitar typically.
And with melodies, when you're writing vocal parts, do you hum along until you fit words into syllables? Do you think about themes that you want to talk about and then write? For me, my music always goes music first, and I've only had about 2 songs start lyrics first, because generally it's like the song's telling you what it's about more than I'm trying to write a song sometimes.
Absolutely. That sounds very similar to my process, because I think there's only been 2 or 3 songs where there's some content in my head. I need to lay down this lyric first. I struggle with lyrics for
Hmm.
sure. At first, they were really vague and cryptic because I didn't want everybody to know completely what I was talking about. I wanted to hide some things. Now I'm totally more, my music has evolved completely. I'm just a different person than I was back when I wrote my first album in my 20s. Now I'm recording some different stuff that's more like you say, just about love, bringing people together, connection, and cool different types of music too.
That's awesome. And if people out there who are listening, check out Dave Quackenbush on Spotify and listen to some of these tracks, follow him, and give him some support, because it's clear, like, even what you communicate from early on is that you like have this openness and this friendliness to you. And I'm sure your music is quite nice to listen to. So that's what I'll be doing. And before we play the lightning round, can ask some kind of quick fire questions about pop culture and music. What is the reception like when you go out and play? Because I see there are some gigs on your page. Is this has this set back some of the performances that you had scheduled for April? And what's this time at home like for you?
Yeah, yeah, Danny, it's been strange. It's not like I'm crushing the gigs.
I understand that.
If I can
I'm at
get
like
out
once a
and do
month. If
like
I can do that, I'm
6 to,
happy.
yeah, they all got canceled. So I had some things lined up for April and May and even into June. Some cool places to play. Unfortunately, they've all been sidelined for now. Hoping to get out and play again as soon as we can, but just working on things at home, dude. I am not technically savvy, nor do I don't know, the social media. That's just a whole different game, and
Right.
and I'm not very good at it. And so I've been trying to put myself out there a little bit more, but I'm a perfectionist, so everything that I record, I end up deleting, and then I don't put anything, so
Interesting.
it's been a struggle for me a little bit.
That's an interesting thing. I used to, maybe 7-8 years ago, when I'd create, I would make excuses for the songs. Like in my head, it's great. Then when other people listen, well, the vocals aren't done. Well, the guitar part's not really. And I stopped
Totally.
doing that like 7-8 years ago, and I got into the practice of making a song a week. And then I've really transformed completely the other side of the spectrum, which has its own problems. But what it does is it lets me take the stops out and just
Yeah.
create and not worry. And then I produce it and I put it out on Danny Hauger podcast, no matter what stage of done it's at. And then I get to the point where then at the end of the year, I'll take the best tracks from the year. Then I'll revisit them and master them and go back and finish. And that's
I
helps me
love that.
get over kind of the self stigma of looking at them, and more of the fact that, like, well, I'm doing this now to give away this music every week. And if people like it, then they can buy it. And that's really helped, I think, because then it feels like a creative process that it's for me, and whoever else would like to listen, that's fantastic.
Absolutely. Danny, I really like that actually. Kind of what I've done here is I've recorded a bunch of songs that to me at the time I didn't really like, and I didn't want to just, share with anybody. If I save a couple of them and then play them the next day or even a
Yeah,
week
right.
from today, I'm going to be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That might have been shareable actually, but I have to
Totally.
take a minute because I'm my own worst critic for sure.
Yeah. And when you've written something good because you're humming it the next morning when you wake up. That's always a
Absolutely.
cool thing too. So Dave
Yeah.
Quackenbush, not of the Vandals, but a very cool creator and musician, and worth checking out, guys, if you're looking and watching this interview. Let's play the lightning round. I'm just going to fire off some quick topics, and you tell me buy or sell. Like you like the argument or you don't, and if you want to defend it, that's great. And if not, we'll move to the next one. You ready to go?
Okay, perfect.
All right, man. The world is a better place for Coldplay music. Buy or sell?
The world's a better place because of Coldplay music.
Yeah, buy or sell. You
Oh
like that?
man, okay, yeah, dude. I'm gonna say yes because there are a couple songs I really like by Coldplay.
Same. I've gotten
So
over the dislike of the entirety and gone to the
yeah,
fact that they serve a purpose. There's some
hey,
enjoyable stuff.
okay, yeah, I can enjoy them. So I'm gonna say go for it.
All right, here you go. Marvel movies are worth the hype and ticket price.
Oh snap, Danny. For me personally, maybe not.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe not.
Oasis should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Who should?
Oasis.
No. I mean, no, not for me. The Hall of Fame, that's reserved for some special people.
All right, let's see if you think these guys are special people. Green Day is the best touring rock band today.
Oh, snap. Green Day has done some amazing things. I would love to see them live. Best touring rock band. No.
Who serves that spot for you?
Probably Foo Fighters.
Oh,
Give me
that's
some
pretty
Dave
good.
Grohl, and I would go to his show any day.
That's respectful. Yeah. Video games are awesome. Buy or sell?
Oi, not a big gamer, but if I was going to play, it would probably be by myself.
Okay. All right.
For sure.
Pineapples on pizza. Buy or sell?
Oi, no, not a pineapple guy.
That's a lot of selling going on. This market is going down, guys.
Sell.
Driverless cars.
Ooh, can they be safe? Sell them or buy
Okay.
them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got a little the lingo there. It's confusing. Seinfeld is the best sitcom of all time. Buy or sell?
Oh my word. Sell that baby.
All right. All right. The music scene now is better than it ever was before. Buy or sell?
Buy it just because there's more variety.
Yes.
Um,
That's a good
I
argument.
think there's a lot of good music out there. A lot of people that haven't ever been discovered that potentially should be. You know what I mean? So that's why I would sell that.
Okay. All right. I got two more then. Buy or sell Netflix. You like Netflix?
Yeah, I'm afraid I do because I just hate Comcast. You know what I mean? They're raking me, Danny. They're raking me, bro.
Yeah. Everyone in the country. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's understandable. And then lastly, as far as modern bands go, how about Greta Van Fleet? Are they worth the hype and attention?
Ooh, yeah, I dig them
I
for
dig them
sure.
too. I dig them too. You survived the lightning round. You thrived through it, and you took
Man,
on this
barely. Oh, I
interview.
thrived.
You thrived. You did well.
Yeah.
From the heights of Utah down to the valleys of California. Dave, thanks a
Excellent.
lot, man. Where can people find your stuff and anything you want to say before we sign off today?
Appreciate your time, Danny. Thanks so much. I know in the beginning you were like, "Oh my God, I got him. I got Dave Quackenbush
Hey,
from the
man.
Vandals."
It's all
You
right.
guys, check it out. Spotify. I have 5 new songs on there. They're pretty variable, so you may just find one that you really dig.
I like that approach. Cast a wide
Yeah,
net.
yeah. It's gonna be my EP is just gonna be eclectic, and hopefully I can hone in some sounds for my full album.
Cool, man. Well, I wish you all the success, and I thank you a lot for spending time with us. Keep making music, and let us know when it comes out so we can share it with you.
Cheers, man. You're awesome, Danny. Thanks a ton.
You're awesome, too. We'll put the links in the description. Until next time, everybody, class is dismissed. Be well, be safe, and we'll see you on the next edition of Danny Hauger Travel Podcast and Danny Hauger Music Podcast.